good day, Boomy, and it's so good to be back on the webinar with you. We spent a couple and a half weeks, my lovely wife and I, doing a little globe trotting to the Dominican and to Chile, and it's good to be back in place to present. We find it such an amazing honor because we know that for so many of you tonight, if you will allow it, the information that we're going to share is going to be a defining moment. Again, my name is T. Lamont Silver Sr. Everyone calls me T. Lamont. My lovely wife, my gosh, that woman swept me off my feet 20 years ago, and I still haven't found the floor. Karen Silver, my lovely wife. We've been in the home business industry for 19, going on 20 years. We've had, we struggled like most people out of the gate, and we finally hit our stride, and we've been able to develop. I got demoted. She said a six-figure earner. I just got demoted, I guess, when I was out of the country. We've been able to build we've been able to build 4 7-figure businesses. But Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be by far our biggest enterprise, and you're going to see why and how that's going to impact you. Obviously, Jubi Rev, for our new guests, is our company's promoter portal. Company doesn't refer to us as reps or distributors or what have you. It refers to us as promoters, and this is where you and I are going to reside. This is where we're going to be the marketing arm of Jubi Max, our customer portal. So Jubi Rev, we're here to make some money. And we're going to make that money by distributing tremendous products and services in the form of skincare and weight loss and energy and vitality, travel, cashback shopping, so on and so forth. So let's go to work here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Jubi. What in the world, where did that come from? Where did Jubi come from? Well, it's short for jubilant. And if you were to go and look up what jubilant means, you'd find several different meanings. You'd find several different synonyms. We ran across, in our 19-year odyssey in this industry, our first few years we struggled. Then we finally hit our stride. And we started to get pretty good at the whole recruiting sales teams and selling products and services, but we found out that most people weren't good at that. When we first got into this industry as a college kick-out in 1994, we bought into the idea that, man, if we could ever make $10,000 a month, we would have arrived. It took us a long time, Bob, to get there. We finally got there. When we got there, what we were not prepared for, Elaine, was the empty feeling of knowing that we were making good money, but most of our teammates were not. And a couple of years ago, we stumbled across the model. This type model pays all of the promoters if they just do a little bit on a daily basis, and it pays them whether or not they've begun to build a recruiting force or a referral network. So every day, ladies and gentlemen, at Jubi Rev, at Jubi Max now, can be payday. Where average everyday people are going to be able to change their lives and the lifestyles in record time. The question is, are you ready? Jubi stands for jubilant. Jubilant means, among other things, triumphant. We want our promoters to be triumphant, to make money, to be able to impact their family, to be able to pay a car note, to be able to pay a house note, to have a full-time income in time, maybe even a complete lifestyle change. Jubi Max, we want our customers, jubilant also means excited, exuberant, elated. We want our customers to be excited, exuberant, and elated. Our vision is to spark a global economic movement and lead the revenue-sharing revolution. At the same time, we're going to empower people all around the globe, whether they are Louise in Australia, or my buddy George in Australia, or whether they're Mary in Kansas. We want to empower people all across the globe to look good, to feel good, and to live good. Now, it's one thing to have a revolutionary compensation plan. It's one thing to have a tremendous vision statement, but that needs to be backed up by phenomenal leadership. Let's introduce you to our president and owner. J. Joshua Beisel has executive experience. He's been on the corporate America side as he was a president of a top alternative energy company. He started his home business career years and years ago with a borrowed budget of $55.36. So he knows how it is to get into the home business industry and not even have a lot of resources to do so. He's been able to develop multiple 7-figure enterprises, and he is the founder and CEO. Other than being our president and owner, he's the founder and CEO of the largest independent MLM call center in the world. Now, our corporate highlights, we're a British Virgin Island company. Very soon there'll be some international locations that will be announced in terms of some physical international locations. We've got fully staffed customer support. We've got in-house software development team. And those of you that have been a part with us from the pre-registration to pre-launch stage, now that we're in our soft launch, you have seen, I know I've seen in my 19 years, I've never seen a company with such a strong programming background, so few bugs out of the gate. It's just absolutely amazing. In-house legal team, which not only includes our MLM attorneys that look at our compensation and our requirements to make sure that they put us in the best position to pass the regulatory test, but also in-house attorneys that are there to be our defenders and even attack dogs to make sure that we are in compliance. We've got a compliant business model, compliant compensation plan, and here's the real point. We've got real products. Okay, so Jubi Rev, again, is the marketing arm of Jubi Max. We're going to lead the revenue sharing revolution. We're not just a company, we are a movement. At Jubi Max, our customer portal, we want folks to look good. We want them to feel good. We want them to live good. Okay, so now let's start to talk a little bit about this model where the company is going to share up to 50% of its daily commissionable sales volume with all of our qualified promoters. So here we were struggling in the industry early on in our first few years. We finally hit our stride. We got great leaders, including Aya Bumi Moore, who introduced me. She was my enroller with the first company we ever built to a 7-figure sales team. Excuse me. We got good at building teams. We got good at having a lot of sales come because of building those teams. We started making a lot of money. Most people on our teams, unfortunately, did not because they weren't good at recruiting. They weren't good at sponsoring. They weren't good at selling. Let's call them Joe and Susie Average. A couple of years ago, we stumbled across a model where companies were starting to devise their compensation plans in a way that all of their promoters could earn on a daily basis. And we had folks that had followed us for years. Lynn, for instance, out of Virginia, great people, fantastic people. Listen, open up your questions box. Let me know if you can identify with Lynn, all right? If you can identify, you're just going to put a Y in there for a yes, okay? This would be Lynn's story. Lynn would invite someone to a conference call, a webinar, or an offline presentation. They promised Lynn that they were going to come, and then they didn't show. If that's ever happened to you, put a yes in your questions box. Look at all those yeses. Okay? Then Lynn would invite someone to the conference call, the webinar, the presentation, the offline presentation. They promised they were going to show. They actually did. Then at the end of the presentation, they said something to Lynn like, well, let me think about it. Let me go and talk to my husband. Let me go and talk to my wife. Let me pray about it. And then Lynn would call them back, and then they wouldn't answer the phone. If that's ever happened to you, put a yes in your questions box. Again, tons of yeses. Tons of yeses. Then Lynn would invite someone to the conference call, webinar, the offline presentation. The person would actually show up. The person would actually sit through the presentation. The person would actually even join Lynn. And then 2 weeks later, after they went to their friends and their family, and their friends and family weren't interested in the product or the service, they just kind of vanished from the face of the earth. So the person that she thought, my gosh, I'm one recruit away from the explosion. I've got that one recruit. Here is my meal ticket. 2 weeks later, that person could not be found. If that has ever happened to you, put a yes or a Y in your question box. So, ladies and gentlemen, many of you have dealt with what Lynn dealt with, and unfortunately, her story is can be told time and time and time again. Lynn was a part of our team a couple years ago when we stumbled upon, tripped over, bumped into this model that would pay Lynn and other promoters every single day, even if they weren't good at recruiting. And a few months into the model, Lynn was making, and this was before JubiRev, JubiMax. JubiRev, JubiMax is just taking it to the next degree, all right? We're going to be the standard bearer. A few months later, Lynn was making enough, even though she hadn't built any large referral network, to pay a car payment. A few months after that, house note. A few months after that, full-time income. Let's start to talk to you about this daily leadership bonus. What we have here at JubiRev, it started 2 nights ago, where the company takes up to 50% of its daily commissionable sales volume and begins to share that sales volume 7 days a week, every day that it has commissionable sales volume to share in the form of our daily leadership bonus. So even if you're not good at recruiting or sponsoring or selling, now every day at JubiRev, JubiMax for you could be payday. Now, in order for us to fully understand the power of the compensation model, we need to know that the income opportunity is only as good as the product offering. Let's talk about the products and services. We have products and services that are already being consumed month in and month out and month in. We have companies in our industry that have built their entire models on these types of products. Skincare. Ever heard of Avon? Skincare. Ever heard of Mary Kay? Avon does $11 billion a year in business. Mary Kay does $2.5 billion a year in business. This is just one of our product lines, ladies and gentlemen. And skincare is one of the hottest, if not the hottest trends online. Professional affiliate marketers, people that aren't building teams but just promote products online. One of the products they promote the most is skincare. We have our very own Jubi Max branded skincare line. We also have our very own Jubi Max weight loss line. You'll be hearing much more about our 90-day challenge coming up. And the beautiful part, ladies and gentlemen, is this is a product that people can see the benefits. If someone's taking the Jubi Max weight loss and they lose 5 pounds, they lose 10 pounds, they lose 15 pounds, they can see it, they can feel it. More importantly, they go to work, someone says, "Girl, you look like you're losing weight. What are you doing?" Well, what are they then going to say? Hey, well, I'm taking these products. That's going to lend itself to more consumer activity. We've got our energy products, ladies and gentlemen. Upcoming, we'll have our vitality products. Look at how she's looking at him, how he's looking at her. This is a family show. You can figure out what that vitality product does in that particular category. Our Jubi trainer, we want people not only to lose weight, we want them to keep it off and be fit. Our Jubi rebates, I'm really excited about Jubi rebates. It'll be launching real soon. Our Jubi rebates will feature over 5,000 named retailers from the Walmarts and Targets of the world to the Best Buys and 1-800-Flowers of the world. Excuse me. With Jubi rebates, we'll have consumers from all across the globe, whether they are promoters that are consumers or consumers that have nothing to do with the income opportunity, able to go in and purchase the retailers they're already familiar with and get cash back. It might be 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10, sometimes 15% cash back. Remember, Mama said that a penny saved is a penny earned. And the reason this is important is understand that the company is going to take up to 50% of its daily commissionable sales volume and put that into the daily leadership bonus every single night for all of our promoters. Why is this important? Because every time someone shops through Jubi rebates, the company's going to make some money. They might net 1 or 2% of whatever the purchase happens to be. Imagine the millions upon millions upon millions of transactions that will go through Jubi rebates that the company will get a little piece of, and then the company's going to share a portion of that with us on a daily basis. We've got our Jubi Resort, actually our Jubi Vacations, as we now call it, that will also be launching very soon. You'll be able to travel all across the globe, 2,000 luxury resort condominiums in over 85 different countries. My wife and I just came back from the Dominican Republic and from Chile. We can't wait for Jubi Vacations to launch. We'll be doing webinars, again, as we vacate somewhere, as we become products of the product. Now, oh my gosh, you're saying, Andy is saying, and Anne-Marie is saying, and Chris is saying, I see. Craig is saying, I see. You've put these hot mega trends of online shopping with cash back, products that people are already purchasing, skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality. You're pairing that with travel, $7 trillion industry in and of itself. Now, that's one thing, but let's give you two distinct advantages that we have to get more and more customers to come and consume with us. Number one is we are going to be able to give away actual samples of our product. I want you to imagine that you have a customer, maybe it's a friend of yours, maybe it's a loved one of yours, maybe it's someone that's on your Facebook following, so on and so forth. And we'll have strategies that leaders will teach you to have plenty of customers that want to use your product. Imagine we're going to be able to give customers a full 30-day supply of our Jubi Max branded product line. For instance, we've got our youth product line. This is our skincare line. If you added up everything in our youth product line, that's over, I think, a couple $100 worth of products just in that line. Could you imagine that we'd be able to give a customer all of the products in that youth line? A couple $100 worth of value, and all they would have to do is cover the shipping. So they can have a full 30-day test to see, man, I like this product. Now, what happens if they take the youth product? What happens if they take our JubiMax weight loss product and they lose 8 pounds, 10 pounds, what have you, in that 30-day test? Well, the whole idea of sampling is for them to like what they have, then they want to come back and consume more, so they become an ongoing customer. So we're going to be able to give away product samples. As a matter of fact, in our system, get this, we're able to give away $750 worth of product value to every customer that we have registered. I want you to think about that. We get to give away $750 of product value to every customer that we have registered. The other thing that we get to give away is something that we call Jubi certificates or Jubi bucks. Now, a Jubi certificate or Jubi bucks is a dollar-for-dollar discount when our customer comes back to consume with us. So let's say here's Kim, and you've given Kim some samples. Maybe she got our youth sample, our skincare. Maybe she got weight loss sample. Maybe she got energy sample, soon to be our vitality samples. All right, so she's used those samples. But you've also given her some Jubi bucks. We can give each customer up to 400 Jubi bucks, okay? That 400 is a part of the $750 in value, by the way. Now, what can Kim do with the Jubi bucks? Kim can now use those Jubi bucks as a dollar-for-dollar discount for the purchase of her ongoing products. So she got the youth line. She loves it. She wants to come and she wants to purchase for the next month because her sample is now gone. And you gave her 100 Jubi bucks. Well, now she can apply those 100 Jubi bucks to the purchase of that Jubi youth line. So instead of it being $200 out of her pocket, as an example, now it's only $100 out of her pocket because you gave her 100 Jubi bucks. And it looks like this, ladies and gentlemen. It's very simple. You can have your friends, your loved ones, you'll connect with some of the leaders. They'll share with you some other customer acquisition services and co-ops that they may be involved in that simply allow people to register for free and for then you to be able to give away $50 in samples or $50 in Jubi bucks, so on and so forth. That is our competitive advantage in the marketplace. All right, so now you know a little bit about the product. You know how we're going to drive millions of jubilant, excited, elated, exuberant consumers to our customer portal. Now let's talk about the money. Now the company's going to pay us 10 dynamic ways, and I certainly don't have time to cover 10 dynamic ways. What I'm going to cover tonight is going to be the daily leadership bonus, which just launched 2 nights ago. This is where the company is going to share up to 50% of its daily commissionable sales volume on a daily basis with all of our qualified promoters. I'm going to talk a little bit about the generational overrides for those of us that begin to build a referral network, though you're not required to, but there's a lot of benefits should you decide to do so. I might be able to have one little blurb about the JubiRev 8-level override bonuses, which I think in time is going to be the biggest form of compensation for those of us that really build the business. Okay, here we go. Daily leadership bonuses. Say it with me. Every day at JubiRev, JubiMax can be what? It can be payday. Every day at JubiRev, JubiMax, it can be payday. Let's talk about the daily leadership bonuses. Okay, this is what happens. Each and every time your customers claim Jubi bucks, or they register for our Jubi resorts or Jubi vacations, that's just around the corner, or they actually get a sample, you're going to earn something called Jubi points. So it's important that you understand what Jubi points are. This is how you're going to claim your pro rata share of that day's reward. The more Jubi points you earn, the more of the company's revenue that day you're going to actually earn. Now, the way we earn Jubi points is by giving away samples. We give away the Jubi bucks. That customer who receives the Jubi Bucks, they can use those Jubi Bucks to purchase any of our Jubi branded products, our weight loss skincare line, so on and so forth. When our Jubi Vacations, this says Jubi Resorts, now the terminology now is Jubi Vacations, so we'll update that. When our Jubi Vacation site is ready, and it's just about ready from what I understand, when someone registers to go in and check out the ability to book an 8-day, 7-night vacation. Maybe they can book one vacation. Maybe they can book up to 3 vacations and over 2,000 luxury condominiums in over 85 different countries. Just them registering to have access to that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to score you Jubi points. And anytime someone says, hey, I want a 30-day sample of the skincare, the weight loss, or what have you, you're going to score Jubi points. Again, it's going to be as simple as this, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be able to send folks to your link. You're going to be able to tell the system based on the amount of Jubi Bucks that you have in inventory, how many Jubi Bucks you want to give away to a customer, or how much you want to give away in product value to a customer. When they simply register for free, when they simply register and put their information in here, and if you've given away Jubi Bucks, ladies and gentlemen, you just converted Jubi Bucks into Jubi points for daily revenue sharing purposes. Okay. Now, so there's numbers of ways to earn Jubi points. We've already covered them. Here's a nice little chart real quickly. For every 1 Jubi Buck I give away, I'm going to earn 1 Jubi point for daily leadership bonus purposes. For every product sample, the customer actually gets a physical product sample. I'm going to earn 1 and a little bit more than 1 Jubi point, 1.05 Jubi points. Jubi trainer memberships. Some of the Jubi Vacation, some of the Jubi Resort memberships are going to earn us well over 100 Jubi points. You'll learn more about that when Jubi Vacations launches. Okay, so now I'm going to give you this example of how all this comes together. Our attorney wants to make sure that we convey that the Jubi Rev Daily Leadership Bonus, how it works, but to make sure that you understand we're not offering any income guarantees here. All right, this is just an example of how it works. So here we go. So let's say that tonight Jubi Rev has had its revenues. Okay, it calculates the revenues. It has the metrics in place. Decides how much of the revenues it's going to share with all of our promoters for the evening. It's going to share up to 50%, sometimes more, of the daily revenue based on the metrics that it has set forth. Now, what happens is then the company is going to take the amount of revenue it's going to share. This is the amount the company is going to share that day as an example. It's going to divide that by the number of active Jubi points in the system. You see, Bob in Hawaii, he's got some Jubi points, but so does Dale. And so does David up there in Virginia, and so does Isaiah in Cambodia, and so does Minnie in New York City. So it divides it by the number of Jubi points, and what happens is every single point in the system that night gets a reward. We will refer to this as a reward per point. Reward per point. Okay, now, what are my qualifiers? What must I do so that I am qualified for the Jubi Rev Daily Leadership Bonus? Now, in your back office, there is a compensation PDF that you'll be able to see all of the qualifiers. Don't have time to talk about it here, but they're very simple. One of our very simple qualifiers is this. We're going to place an ad each day that promotes our JubiMax website. It promotes the fact that we're giving away samples, the fact that we have these great products and services. The whole idea of that is this. Let's say there's 10,000 folks placing an ad a day. What impact does that begin to have in the marketplace? 25,000 people placing an ad a day, 50,000, 100,000. We saw this. There's nothing new under the sun. We saw a company use that concept, and nobody knew who they were, and in 18 months, they had their site was the 130th most visited site in the world. Well, the company said, well, you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, and since there's nothing new under the sun, let's use that as a qualifier so that when we're at 100,000 promoters, 250,000 promoters, all placing an ad a day, that name starts to brand JubiMax, 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 JubiMax. Now, you'll learn about a couple of the other longer-term qualifiers, a couple of customers in place, a couple of customers that are buying things. Well, the whole idea to help get customers to buy stuff is to give them the samples, right? They get the samples, they like the samples, so on and so forth. You learn more about that as you come inside. All of the requirements can be met by every Joe average, every Sue average that has a desire to earn with us. Very simple. Okay, here we go. So now you are qualified. You are qualified, and tonight the company generates, in this example, $1 million in commissionable sales volume for the day. It goes through its metrics and decides, hey, we're going to share $500,000 with all of our qualified promoters in the Jubi Rev Daily Leadership Bonus. Now, Joe, he's got 100 Jubi points. The company's going to take this $500,000 in this example, divide it by all of the Jubi points in the system, and so each Jubi point in the system is going to earn a little bit per point. So Joe average has 100 Jubi points. Collectively, he earned $1.25. We are paid, or we are rewarded in more Jubi bucks. I'll tell you how you can convert Jubi bucks into actual commissionable dollars in just a few moments. The reason this is important is what we want to do is we want to have more and more inventory, to give away more inventory, to generate more Jubi points, to generate more potential revenue. The more Jubi points you have, the more your potential revenue. But in your and our quest to have more and more points, how did we generate those points? We gave more and more samples. The more you give, the more you get. The more you give, the more you get. The more you give, the more you get. Now, Sue, she's given more samples. She's got 1,000 Jubi points. And notice, she doesn't make any more per point than Joe. She just has more points in the system. So the more points you have, that means the more you've given. The more points you have, the more you have the potential of generating. So she earned $12.50 in her Jubi buck reward that particular evening. Julio, he's given more. He's no better than Sue. He's no better than Joe. Over time, maybe he's just been in the system longer. He's been able to give. He's been earning longer, so he's taken a portion of his earnings and purchased more Jubi bucks to give away, and in doing so, he was able to generate more and more and more points. Well, he earned 125 Jubi bucks. Same ratio as Sue, same ratio as Joe. He just had more Jubi points. Now, what happens when you grow to 50,000 Jubi points? 100,000 Jubi points. 500,000. 1 million Jubi points. I will say this. The company did have to put in some caps, had to put in some controls here, because the reality is we're going to have sales coming in from all across the globe, from Pakistan to the Philippines to the U.S. to Canada. But we're also going to have promoters all across the globe. I think we already have promoters in some 40 or 50 different countries. So the company had to say, well, wait a minute, we can only pay so much. All right, so here is the cap. Here's the cap. The cap is, give me just a moment, I want to put it up here so you can see it. The cap is $100,000. Now, what this means is that from the Jubi Rev Leadership Bonus, one of 10 ways the company is going to pay, you can generate $100,000 just from the daily leadership bonus. And you say, my gosh, that is fantastic. I can make $100,000 US dollars, Lancelot, in Jamaica a year. Lancelot, I appreciate your Jubiness, my friend. I appreciate your excited and your elation, but you didn't let me finish. Oh, wait a minute. you mean I can make $100,000 just from the Jubi Rev Leadership Bonus a month? You do the equals on that. Our attorneys don't want me to show that big number, but you figure that out. And I am so excited, Lamar, Linda, Lorraine, Minnie. I am so excited that you're excited, but you didn't let me finish. Ladies and gentlemen, you can make $100,000 in time a week, cash in hand, just from this one compensation element alone. The company pays us 10 ways. There's one of them that can earn up to $100,000 a week. Now, that's not going to happen tomorrow, and you may never hit $100,000 a week. But the fact that you can, tells us all I need to know about this compensation model. This is just one of the 10 ways the company is going to pay. Now, let me show you what you can actually do with those daily JubiBuck rewards. You can actually convert as much as 60% of that into what we call e-cash. There's a setting in the back office that would do that automatically. If you made 100 JubiBucks for the day, you could say, well, I want all of my 100 JubiBucks to go to JubiBucks. Or you can say, I want 10% of that to go to e-cash for commission purposes and 90% to go to JubiBucks. Or I want 30% to go to e-cash and 70% to go to JubiBucks. You get a chance to do that. You get to request as much as 60% of your JubiBuck reward on a daily basis can go to e-cash for commissioning purposes. This is powerful, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely powerful. Okay, now, we're going to have to start rounding third here in just a few moments, and then we're going to have an optional little training session thereafter for those of you who want to stick around and take a peek in the back office. We might even have a chance to answer a few questions. All right, now, your Jubi points that you earn don't just earn for a day or 2 or 5 or 17. They earn anywhere from 80 days to as many as 105 days, and I'll cover that in just a few more moments in just a little bit more detail. Let's talk about a second element of our compensation. We know the JubiRev Daily Leadership Bonus alone is a game changer. And again, the JubiRev Daily Leadership Bonus went live 2 nights ago. What I showed you in terms of a potential reward per point on the slide, and I didn't give you the reward per point because I want to make sure that we keep things nice and legal for our attorney staff. But what I just showed you in terms of that ratio was actually on the paper was actually conservative, because the company the first couple of days has actually been able to exceed that reward per point than what I just showed you. So I'm very excited about the rewards per point that we're seeing right now. Don't know what they'll be tonight. Don't know what they'll be tomorrow. That is dependent upon the revenue and the points that are in the system. Let's talk about what happens, though, should you begin to build a referral network. Let me tell you what we've seen over the last couple of years with a model like this. So we have Lynn, who was with us, and she struggled, and she struggled, and she struggled. And finally, she came aboard with us as we bumped into a model like this a couple of years ago. And even though she still wasn't good at building a large referral network, Lynn started making money on a daily basis. And she started making enough in time to cover a car payment, as I mentioned, even more. And she started to share her story. Now, most people that have tried to build teams, it's not a lack of them trying that hurts them. In many cases, they don't have the confidence because in many cases, they don't have the success story. Open up your questions box. Tell me if you've ever heard this one. When you start making money, then let me know. Or come back to me with your deal when you're making money. Has anyone ever heard that? Anyone ever said that to you? Look at all those yeses. I wish you guys could see what I can see, all those yeses. Well, see, now you can be qualified to make money every single day. Every single day. And so what happened was we had the likes of Lynn that simply started to share her story. Or Patricia up in New Jersey, who Zeke and Jerry Stewart, my very dear friends and mentors in this industry, had Patricia to come and join with him. And Patricia said, you know, I'm not good at recruiting, sponsoring, and selling. I know, don't worry about it. With JubiRev, Jubi Max, you don't even have to recruit a team, and you can still earn daily. Well, guess what Patricia did? She went and told somebody, hey, over here at JubiRev, Jubi Max, we just went live with our daily rewards. Even if you don't recruit a team, you can still generate money on a daily basis. And guess what happened? She had one joiner, then she had a second one joiner, then she had a third one joiner, and a fourth one joiner. And so the fact that you may be Joe and Susie average today doesn't mean that you're going to be Joe and Susie average tomorrow. I struggled my first few years in this industry, and then we hit our stride. And what we've seen the last 2 years has completely changed the ballgame. Let me share with you what happened. You're going to have the option when you come aboard to choose a monthly subscription. You can choose a $15 a month subscription, and if you choose that, that's going to get you 15 what we call Max Bucks that you can use to purchase products in our system. That also gets you the volume to be what we call a Jade promoter, and you'll get corresponding commissions should you start to build a referral network and they do the same. If you have a $50 a month subscription, that would give you the volume to be a Ruby subscriber, and your commission rates will be a little higher, Emerald a little higher. Diamond is where everyone wants to be. Now, whether you can start there or you have to build your business to get there, that's where you eventually want to be, and then from Diamond we can hit some other ranks. But everyone, if they have the resources to start off, could start off and hit the Diamond rank from day one. So let's say that you're a Diamond. You're Diamond. Okay, you're Diamond. You get a 10% override when anyone that you personally refer also purchases inventory in the form of Jubi Bucks so they can give away to generate more Jubi points. Now, what does this mean? Let's say that you refer Maria. Now, Maria has purchased some Jubi Bucks. She's given away Jubi Bucks to customers to generate Jubi points. Now, let's say she purchased 1,000 Jubi Bucks to start with. She can purchase more or less depending on what her resources happens to be. You would have gotten a 10% override. You'd have made $100. Fantastic. That goes to your eCash. But here's the thing. Now that Maria has given away some Jubi Bucks, she's got some Jubi points she starts earning every day. And that means every day is a commission day for you. See, let's say that Sunday Maria earned 92 Jubi Bucks. You get a 10% override in the form of new Jubi Bucks yourself. Again, you can commission a portion of that out. You just tell your system how much of that do you want to come to you, up to 60%. Or you can use those 9 new Jubi Bucks that you just earned to give away yourself to generate more Jubi points. But now Monday comes, Maria earns 101 Jubi Bucks. Well, on Monday, you would earn another override. Tuesday comes, she earns 113 Jubi Bucks in this example. You'd earn another override. Wait, stop. Stop, T. Lamont. Are you telling me that everything I've heard about this industry has just changed? Because I've heard leaders in this industry talk about monthly residual income. Yeah, so did I. I taught it for 17 years. 2 years ago, I found out that this type model is not monthly residual income. Then you say, well, is it weekly? No, it's not weekly residual income. Is it daily? You got it. You're smart. It's daily residual income. Remember we said every day? JubiRev, Jubi Max can be what? Payday. And that's not just from the daily leadership bonus. That's the foundation. But if you begin to build a referral network, now you start getting daily overrides. And what happens when Maria's Jubi Buck reward isn't $92 for the day, but it's $920 for the day? What happens when her Jubi Buck reward isn't 100 Jubi Bucks for the day, it's 1,000 Jubi Bucks for the day? And ladies and gentlemen, that is what we saw a couple of years ago that changed the ball game. Now, let me finish with this in terms of the compensation. We've got to start rounding third here. We're going to an optional training session and an optional brief Q&A. We've got something called the Jubi Suite, and you're going to learn a lot more about this as you come inside. This is going to drive the proper behavior. This is going to help teammates qualify for higher ranks. This is going to reward those that are active in helping to promote the business, not necessarily great recruiters, not just for the great recruiters, but people that are just engaged. And it's going to increase commissions for you and for your team. Now, when you look at this chart real quickly, you're going to see what appears to be small percentages, 0.5%, 0.5%, 0.5%. I'm going to tell you, don't have time to cover it now, when you come into our system and you learn more about the Jubi Suite and the JubiRev 8-level team bonus overrides, I believe in time with this chart will make you more money than anything I've shown you here thus far. And remember, I showed you one way that you could generate $100,000 a week cash in hand potential, and I believe this chart carries more weight than what I have shown you previously. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, what do you want to do? You want to get back to the person who referred you to tonight's webinar. My gosh, would you hurry up and send me your link? Send me your link. I'm ready to register and get started right now. You're going to register for free at their JubiRev link. Then as you come inside, you'll be able to then get the process started of upgrading. And what you're going to want to do and consider is starting with a monthly subscription. You can choose anywhere from the Jubi 15 to the Jubi 50 to the Jubi 100 to the Jubi 200. Now what this is a monthly subscription where with each subscription you get a corresponding number of what we call max bucks. Max bucks are bucks that you use. You don't give those away like your normal Jubi bucks, but bucks that you use to be able to purchase products yourself. So for instance, I'm Jubi 200. So I got 200 max bucks. My family actually, we purchased $260 worth of product for the month. 200 of that was used with my max bucks. And then I came up with the other 60 from Jubi bucks because those are the products that we wanted. We're going to be products of the product. Now, the reason it's important as you are getting started with your monthly subscription is that that's going to give you volume. And the more volume you have, then that's going to help you hit certain ranks. If you have a $15 a month subscription, all right, you're a Jade Director, and your Jubi points would earn for 80 days, which is a tremendous length of time that your Jubi points earn. You earn Jubi points tonight, they earn for 80 days. You earn Jubi points tomorrow, they earn for 80 days. You earn Jubi points on June 15th, those Jubi points earn for 80 days. But it could be better because if you're Ruby, your Jubi points earn for 85 days. And their Jubi points, and the Jubi points that produces more Jubi bucks for you, as you give those away, you get more Jubi points. They earn for 85 days, or 95 days, or even better, 105 days. So in your consideration, as you get started with the person referred to you, you'll join for free. And as you consider, okay, what do I want to get started as a monthly subscription? Do the highest monthly subscription as your resources allow. That's going to give you more volume, going to allow your points to earn for a longer period of time. Just get started where it makes sense for you financially. The second thing you want to do after you have registered for free, you've chosen now the amount of your monthly subscription. Now what you're going to choose is the amount of Jubi bucks that you want to purchase. This is going to be your virtual inventory. Remember, you purchase Jubi bucks, you give the Jubi bucks away, you generate Jubi points. So you're going to be able to load funds into your system, and you can purchase, 10 Jubi bucks. You can purchase 2,500 Jubi bucks. If you purchase 2,500 Jubi bucks and you start giving those away, and you have some more resources, and it's not going to hurt your family, you could purchase even more, and then even more, so on and so forth. Okay. All right. Let me just leave you with a couple of disclaimers here. We're going to start to transition over. We're going to start to transition over into an optional, about a 15-minute training session here. This is all optional. If you have to leave us, we love you. We'll be back on the same webinar link tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you want to send any of your prospects, and perhaps if you can make it, we'd love to see you as well. Let's give you one more legal disclaimer that you can look at. And then we're going to go into the back office. We're going to do a little bit of back office training for about 15 minutes. And after that, we'll spend maybe another 15 minutes in optional Q&A. Bear with me. Now, what I'm going to show you in terms of the back office, bear with me. I think I'm timed out. Bear with me. What I'm going to show you in the back office, I'm actually going to show you a training account. So this is not anyone's particular back office or what have you, but this will give you a chance to see whether you are a guest and you're getting back with the person who referred you to get aligned with us, or whether you are already with us, just to give you a chance to see a couple of the functionalities. Okay, so let's take it from a new person. I'm brand spanking new. I've just gotten started. I've registered with the person who referred me. And now I want to go on and get things going. Well, what you're going to be able to do up here, you're going to see where it says upgrade. And you're going to be able to click on that upgrade button. And the upgrade button is then going to take you to, now this position is already shown as upgrading. But what it's going to do is it's going to take you to a page there where you can choose the monthly subscription that you want. And remember, your monthly subscription Options are going to be 15, 50, 100, and $200 a month. Okay, and then after that, you're going to be able to choose how many Jubi bucks you want to purchase. Now, right now, you don't have any loaded funds into the system. So when you click on that upgrade and you choose that, it's going to give you the options to begin to load funds. There are basically 4 good options right now to load funds, and let me just put these down here for you. If you are already involved in some type of internet enterprise, chances are you may already have one or both of these systems. This one's called Solid Trust Pay. Another one is called Payza. If you have either of these systems, one, and if you already have funds in either of these systems, two, then what happens is you can load funds right from Solid Trust Pay, right from Payza. It happens instantaneously, and then that's going to go to what we call your eCash. So if you load up with Payza, you load up with Solid Trust Pay, it only takes a couple clicks of a button to do so, and then when you do so, you'll then see money sitting in eCash. From your eCash, you can cover your monthly subscription, 15, 50, 100, or 200. From your eCash, you can then purchase your Jubi bucks, the amount of Jubi bucks that you want to purchase. Okay, so that's one way. Payza, Solid Trust Pay, or Payza. If you don't have a Solid Trust Pay or Payza account, or you have them, but you maybe don't have resources in those right now, you can also choose a wire option. You'll see that in your back office again because this training account is already upgraded. It's not going to show that right now, but you'll see that in your back office. As a matter of fact, give me a moment. Let me go one other place where we should be able to see that. Bear with me. Bear with me. It was right there in front of my face. Okay. If you click on eCash, if you just click on eCash, you'll see where it says load money, and here are your options. This is a better visual. You've got Payza, you've got Solid Trust Pay. All right. If you choose one of these options here, whatever amount you want to load with, and you click on load money, it's going to take you to STP. It's going to take you to Payza. You'll be able to put in your details with STP or Payza, and it happens instantaneously. Or you could choose a wire option. Just put out the wire details. The thing about the wire option is that it is linked to our system, so the moment that you choose the wire option and you tell the system how much you want to wire in, you'll have all of the details to do the wire. There'll be tracking mechanisms on the back end, and in just a few short days, you should see that then hitting in your eCash. If you're in the U.S., you can also use an online check system, an ACH system. Each one of these methods are being used by third-party processes, and so they will have some corresponding fees associated with them. Don't trip over pennies getting to dollars. Choose the method that best works for you. I can tell you again, Payza and STP are more instantaneous. The wire and the ACH just take just a few days before you're going to see that hitting your eCash. Okay, so you've gotten funds now into your eCash. You've decided your monthly subscription. You want to choose as high of a monthly subscription as your resources allow. That gives you more volume. That also gives your Jubi points a longer earning power. Then, for instance, you'll come in here, and you'll see every day that you've got Jubi points. You're going to see what the reward was for that previous evening, assuming that you were qualified. So last evening, based on this training account, last evening there were almost 600 Jubi points qualified to earn, and based on those roughly 600 Jubi points, this position earned 814 in new Jubi bucks for the day. We could have set our system to where as much as 60% of that 814 would have gone to our eCash for commissioning purposes if we wanted to, or we could have told our system we want all of it to go to Jubi bucks. You'll learn all of that as you come inside for your training. Now, for instance, you'll also notice that this position has 8,300 Jubi bucks. Well, what we'd like to see is we'd like to see more of these Jubi bucks given away so that they can generate more Jubi points. Now, get back with the person who referred you and find out whether they or maybe their leadership has some customer acquisition services or some co-op services out there designed to help you have more and more customers. From a corporate standpoint, from a corporate webinar standpoint, the company can't endorse any specific co-op opportunity or anything like that. But there's a good chance that some of the leaders out there are involved in certain co-ops so that customers never become an issue and that you've got plenty of customers to give bucks to, and real customers, by the way, not fakies, real people seeing your site to be able to give away more and more Jubi bucks, okay? By the way, let's have a little fun here. Let me show you something that's really cool about this system. Again, this is a little training. What you want to do, I would have you, ladies and gentlemen, coming back in your back office, scheduling time each day. Treat it with the same respect that you would if you had a job. Maybe it's 10 minutes a day, maybe it's 15 minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes, depending on what your time is. There's a lot of training back here. There's a lot of video training that walk you through the process. Get to know your back office. But let me show you something that's real cool, okay? All right, so you see we got some Jubi bucks here, right? 8,343 Jubi bucks. And if we went to My Jubi Team, we could see if we've started to build a referral network or not. This is all training here. This is all a training site. And if we went to where it says customers, where it says customers, you'll notice that there are some customers that we have in this training site. Now, remember I said we can give to every customer, we can give $750 worth of product value. That means if we gave them our full youth line, I think that comes into about $200 worth of retail value. Well, that would go into that $750 of product value that we could give. We can also assign 400 Jubi bucks. 400 Jubi bucks is part of the 750, by the way. So let me show you what we can do. This is really cool. You notice here that this particular site, this particular customer, key testing, we've already given this person 120 Jubi bucks, okay? We've already given them 120 Jubi bucks. But I could actually give them up to 400 Jubi bucks as I eventually want to give them $750 worth of full product value. 400 can be Jubi bucks. Do you know what we can do here, guys? We can come back here on a daily basis and see what customers we have that we've not given the maximum amount of bucks to, and we can assign them more bucks that they can use, and by assigning them more bucks, we get more Jubi points. I want you to see this. So we're going to make a note of this. We're going to make a note that right now we have, this is a little back office training, this is all optional. I'll make a note that right now we have 83, 43, 80 in Jubi bucks. I'm going to put that on my little whiteboard. 83, 43, 80 in Jubi bucks. Okay, 83, 43, 80 in Jubi bucks. All right. I'm also going to make a note that my active Jubi points are 713.75. Let's make a note of this. 713.75 Jubi points. Now you might be saying, well, Lamont, I thought earlier on the home page that you had 598.75 Jubi points in this training account. That was the Jubi points that were in the system when the company did its daily leadership bonus last night. So this is a way of me knowing how many points did I receive revenue on last night. But throughout the day, today I could have given away more Jubi bucks and earned more Jubi points. So I want to show you, again, this real cool feature. My Jubi team, for those of you that are building your team or you've got customers, I'm now under customers. I can see customers that have already registered so that I could give them Jubi bucks, I'm sorry. I noticed that P testing, I've given them 120 Jubi bucks. I've got a bunch of Jubi bucks that I can give away. Let's give them some more Jubi bucks. Let's see what happens. Let's assign to them 100 additional Jubi bucks. I'm going to put in, you'll have a PIN number. You'll register that PIN. It's a very simple process as you're getting started with us. So I'm going to put in the training account's PIN number. I'm going to choose how many Jubi bucks I want to give to this particular customer. Let's give them another 100. I'm going to submit. And what you're going to see once I refresh the screen is you're going to now see, instead of 120 bucks that I have assigned, it's going to be 220 that I've assigned. Now, we just gave them 100 new Jubi bucks, right? So what do we automatically notice? That they've debited those 100 Jubi bucks from my Jubi buck inventory. So instead of 83.43, which is what I had before, now I've got 82.43, and now I've got more Jubi points. Why? Because I just gave away those Jubi bucks. Now wait a minute, T. Lamont. I thought you had 713.75 Jubi points before. You just gave away 100. So shouldn't you have 813.75 Jubi points now? Let's think about this. Let's look at this. But T. Lamont, you've got more Jubi points. You've got 828.75. What happened there? Now this is going to lead me to my last part here, and then we'll go into an optional Q&A. What happened here, T. Lamont? You actually got more Jubi points than just 100. You gave away 100 Jubi bucks. You should get 100 Jubi points, right? You should. But you actually got, let's see the number. We'll pull up my calculator. This is training, by the way. This is training, all optional. But T. Lamont, you just earned 150 Jubi points. What happened there? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who've been with us from the pre-registration stage and the pre-launch stage before the daily revenue started, we had a founder's promotion. And that founder's promotion said that if you made a Jubi buck purchase during that founder's promotional period, that when you gave away your Jubi bucks, you were going to earn an additional 15% in matching Jubi points. So I just gave away 100 Jubi bucks. Under normal circumstances, I would have earned 100 Jubi points. Because I participated in this training position in the founder's promotion, it actually got 15% more Jubi points. Now you say to yourself, but wait a minute, that's all great for the founder. I'm the new guy. I'm the new guyette. I just learned about this. If I had known about this, I'd have been the founder too. Well, let me tell you what our owner, give me just a moment. Let me tell you what our president and owner, J. Joshua Beisel, did. He said he wanted the new person who just found out about this, or the person that was sitting on the fence, that now the daily leadership bonus is out, and people can now see, wow, they're paying every day. He wanted to extend to you what he calls the first wave bonus. The first wave bonus runs from March 28th, so it's retroactive if you have been with us and you've made any Jubi buck purchases from March 28th all the way through April 22nd. So you've got just a couple of weeks to take advantage of this. All right, we may never see this again. In the first wave bonus, what's going to happen is that if you make a purchase of Jubi bucks between March 28th and April 22nd, once you give your bucks away, you're going to get an additional 10% Jubi point match. Now, I want you to understand how powerful this is. Again, we're still in our optional training. I want you to understand how powerful this is. Very, very powerful. Let's go back here. Let's go back here, okay? We go back here. Once this person begins to convert Jubi bucks to Jubi points by way of giving away their Jubi bucks to customers, what's going to happen to their daily rewards? Their daily rewards are liable to increase, right? Because they've got more points earning more rewards. Now, the reward per point may be higher or lower from day to day, but the fact that they have more points on which they're earning gives them the possibility of earning more. How are they paid? How are they rewarded every day? It just went off for somebody. They're rewarded in Jubi Bucks. You and I are rewarded in Jubi Bucks. That, in effect, is a new transaction. So if this person now makes $10 in Jubi Bucks for the day, or $50 in Jubi Bucks for the day, or $100 in Jubi Bucks for the day, that counts as another transaction, and that person is going to earn an additional 10% in Jubi points as they give those new Jubi Bucks away. So what should this person be focusing on now? They've got quite a few Jubi Bucks. Giving those Jubi Bucks away. Give them away. Give them away. Give them away. The other thing that I would have you to consider, for those of you that have already loaded funds and you've made purchases, obviously within bounds of your resources, never go beyond your resources. Don't go out and borrow money. Don't go out and charge your credit cards to the hilt. None of that stuff. But the other thing you may want to consider, I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. All right, I've got some other income streams, particularly on the internet. You know what I'm doing? I'm taking those income streams, and I'm using those income streams to load more funds to purchase more Jubi Bucks, knowing that if I make those purchases between March 28th and 22nd, that's going to give me an additional 10% Jubi point match as I give those Jubi Bucks away. So if I made $100 for a day and with another income stream, and I request that $100, I get that $100, you know what I'm doing? This is me. I'm going to talk about what I'm doing. I'm taking that $100 and I'm loading that $100 in my system, and I'm making another $100 purchase so that I can take advantage of that 10% Jubi point match, ladies and gentlemen. And then the other part of this, again, this is optional training here. This is optional training. The other part of that is this. You're building a referral network for some of us. Some of us are going to build a referral network. Again, you're not required to. You're not required to. You're not required to. But should you start building a referral network, and now you've got teammates that are purchasing Jubi Bucks. Maybe they loaded more funds from external sources to purchase Jubi Bucks to take advantage of the promotion, or they're earning daily. And as they earn daily, they're in effect having more Jubi Bucks hit the system. Now you're overriding. Now normally what would happen, let's say if you were Diamond, all right, if you were Diamond, and let's say that you referred me, and I've got the resources. I've got the resources to do this. You only do this if you've got the resources. You referred me, and let's say I loaded another $2,500 to purchase more Jubi Bucks. You would normally get a 10% override if you were at that commission rate. You'd make $250 in your e-cash. Then you could take that $250. You could say, I want to get a commission request, or I want to cover my subscription for the next month, or during this phase, you know what I'd be doing? I'd take as much of those commissions as I possibly could if I didn't have to have it to take care of my family, and I'd purchase more Jubi Bucks myself between March 28th and April 22nd to get those additional Jubi points. Now, here's what I want you to get. You would normally get that commission anyway, okay? So you're still going to get that commission. But now what you would get is you would also get matching Jubi points. So if you are at a 10% commission rate, you referred me, I made a purchase. You get a 10% commission rate in this example. You made $250 in this example. You would also earn an additional 250 Jubi points. And it doesn't stop there, because if you referred me, I'm your first generation. I refer Dave. Dave's your second generation. He makes a purchase between now and the 22nd. You not only would get your 5% commission in this example, you would also get 5% more Jubi points. Dave refers Ryan, that's third generation to you. You would pick up another 1%, not only in commission, but in Jubi points. Now, why is this so important? I had a few folks, asked a few folks, hey, would you kind of share with me, some of you did this on the webinar, how many Jubi points you already have? let me just kind of share with you, let me go through my questions box here, and let me share with you some of the numbers that people are already reporting, and we're just getting started. How about this? 23,900 Jubi points, almost 24,000 Jubi points already someone's reporting. Somebody else is reporting 15,640 Jubi points. Someone else is reporting 9,970 in Jubi points. Somebody else is reporting 6,204 Jubi points. Someone else is reporting 26,873 Jubi points. Someone else is reporting 23,000 Jubi points. My whole point is, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is optional training. Let's really go for it, particularly between now and April 22nd. Between now and April 22nd, we've got this first wave bonus. Let's lead by example with your resources, only with what your resources allow. Make purchases if your resources allow. If you've already made purchases, if you can load more funds if your resources allow. Why? Take advantage of that 10% bonus. But then as folks that are coming aboard, maybe new for the first time, or folks that are already in your organization, as they take their daily rewards and have daily rewards going more to Jubi Bucks, and or they make initial additional purchases, guess what happens, ladies and gentlemen? More revenue. Everyone now starts, those who are building a referral network, you earn more commissions. You also earn more Jubi points. I really believe that between now and April 22nd, we could start to see people hitting 50,000, 75,000, 100,000 Jubi points or more, if we will understand the stage that we're in. This is very, 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 very urgent. So I want us to move with a sense of urgency. What we have seen with this model, and again, we've made a lot of money with this model, okay, a lot of money. What we've seen with this model is that if you will just go with reckless abandon early on, then that can really set the stage for you having tremendous amounts of Jubi points in our world now with Jubi points, so that your daily rewards in time, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to some of you saying, darn, I hit $100,000 a week. That's the most I can earn from the daily leadership bonus. Darn. All right, I am past my optional training session. I'm not going to apologize because I believe we gave you some good meat there, and I want to help you make some money. What I am going to do is I'm going to open up the questions box. We're going to go to the bottom of the hour. We're going to go to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. So we've got 19 minutes. This is all optional. I'm going to answer as many questions as I possibly can. If you've not already put in questions in the questions box, this would be the time to do so. Give me a moment. Okay, someone is asking about the giveaway pages for to get customers to come and register for your giveaway pages. What you want to do from your home page, if you go to where it says promoter links, excuse me, okay, you should see that. Let me just make sure you guys can see that. All right, so you go to promoter links. On the left-hand side, these are your marketing pages, primarily for the purposes of recruiting other promoters. But then on this side, you've got some customer pages, okay? So I'm going to just take one of these just so you know what it looks like. Now, someone was saying that they were having a problem with one of their customer pages. You may need to try, if you're trying Internet Explorer, I know sometimes Internet Explorer doesn't quite work the way we'd like it to work. So you might need to try Firefox or Chrome. Give me just a moment. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Okay, so what I simply did was I took that link and I just put it in Firefox, and if I were sending that link out to a customer, this is exactly what they would see, where they could get a Jubi gift certificate loaded with 50 Jubi bucks, and all they would need to do is put in their first name, last name, email address, create a username, create a password, confirm that password, and then do the captcha code. They'll be able to claim their Jubi bucks. When they do that, then this box is going to go away, and they will then be at our in their Jubi Max customer site. And let me just post the Jubi Max site real quickly. Remember, Jubi Max is our customer portal. Jubi Max is our customer portal. Give me a moment. Sorry. Bear with me. Bear with me, bear with me. Give me just a moment. I had a little technical issue. Actually, what just happened there, if you go to JubiMax, it's going to bring up this form. Once they have registered, then this form is going to go away, and they'll actually be able to go and shop. So if they want to take their Jubi bucks that you've just given them, whether you've given them 5 or 50 or 100 or what have you, then they can see all the products, they can see all the ingredients in the products, so on and so forth. All right. In concert with this question, someone wants to know, how do you set your giveaway? How do you tell the system how many Jubi bucks you want to give away when a customer registers? Okay, this is where you want to go. You want to go to My Account, My Financials, My Account, My Financials. I want to set my giveaway. How many Jubi bucks am I going to give away? How many Jubi bucks am I going to give away? So you go to My Account, My Financials, eCash. You will spend a lot of your time in your back office in your My Account, My Financials section. My Account, My Financials, eCash. My Account, My Financials, eCash, Jubi Buck Manager. Jubi Buck Manager. Your Jubi Buck Manager is where you can set the denomination of Jubi bucks that you want to give away when you have a new customer registering for the first time. Now, just to give you a couple of ideas here, okay? Yes, this particular position has 8,200 Jubi bucks. And I know it would be tempting to say, hey, I want to give everybody 400 Jubi bucks and just be done with it, okay? You don't have to do that, though. What I would love for you to consider doing is setting your Jubi buck giveaway at a conservative amount. Maybe I've got 8,000 Jubi bucks, so maybe I'll give away 100 when that person registers, because I can always come back and give them more Jubi bucks up to the limit of 400 per customer. Remember, we showed you that a little bit earlier. But this way, if you are sending out your link and you're advertising, so on and so forth, you would love to have a situation where you don't run out of Jubi bucks when you have new customers that come aboard. Now, I do want to show you something real quickly. Give me a moment. This is a dynamic setting. This is a dynamic setting. I'm going to show you what we mean by that. Bear with me. Okay, so right now, we've got the system set to give away 50 Jubi bucks. Okay, we've got the system set to give away 50 Jubi bucks, and that's what shows up on your giveaway page. I'm going to set this right now. Let's say I set it to, let's say, and it's going to tell you if you kept this set at 50, how many gift certificates of in a denomination of 50 could you give away? If we move this to, let's say, 100, and we click Update, all right, it now sets how many certificates we can give away. But I want you to see that this is dynamic. I'm going to go back to the giveaway page that we were showing before that was showing 50, as our denomination we were giving away. I just reset it to 100. When I refresh this screen, you're going to now see I can give away $100 in Jubi Bucks. So where did we find our Jubi Buck giveaway manager, where you can go in and manage how many Jubi Bucks do you want to give away when you have a customer that registers at your site for free? All right? When you have a customer that registers at your site for free, how many Jubi Bucks you want to give away? Again, we were in my account, my financials, eCash, Jubi Buck Manager. Okay? Now, I'm still in the training site. One of the other things, if this were my site and these were my numbers, one of the things that I would be doing, I'm seeing I've got eCash there. Now, obviously, this coming Friday is when the commission request pages are going to be available. The way that will work, and I'm probably answering some questions that you already have in there that I haven't seen yet. The way that will work is that you can request commissions from your eCash. All commissions need to be requested by Friday, 5 p.m. Central, for them to be processed by the next Friday at 5 p.m. Central. All right? So if I wanted to, I've got eCash, maybe from commissions or so on and so forth, if I wanted to request some or all of this eCash, and I want it to be on the next processing batch, I would want to request that by Friday, 5 p.m. Central. When is that going to be processed? In a week from that point. And one of the reasons the company is doing that, one, they're doing it so they can see exactly how much needs to go out from week to week. That's just a very smart cash flow thing to do. The other reason why this is important is to make sure, even though there's a lot of security built in, if someone, heaven forbid, you didn't select a good password, or you gave someone your password, or somehow someone hacked in and got your password, the company wants to make sure that there's time that if that were to happen, that you don't have some hacker getting into your site, changing your payment information, trying to get your hard-earned commissions. So there's a week lag there, but what that means is on a daily basis, yes, we can be paid. We can then request on a weekly basis, and then if you're at the point where you're wanting to start requesting commissions, so on and so forth, once you have almost like that week in the hole, then it can be every single week you're getting cash in hand, okay? I will tell you that a lot of us that don't necessarily need the commissions, what I'm doing, this is just me, when I'm earning commissions, I'm using a pay it forward option in some cases if I'm helping some folks getting started, but I'm also obviously purchasing more inventory, particularly given that we've got the first wave bonus. All right, so we've hit several questions there. Let's give you some more. Okay. Okay, I think I've answered that one. Yeah, someone is asking, so wait a minute. So when we're giving away these product samples with the Jubi Bucks, does that mean that we're the ones that's covering the cost of the sample? You're absolutely right, Mike. The customer, when we give them Jubi Bucks or we give them a sample, the customer is going to whip out their credit card and cover the shipping and handling. Okay, the customer is going to cover the shipping and handling. Obviously, we don't want the company giving out all those product samples because that would decrease the profit margins there. So what we are doing is we're buying Jubi Bucks to give away virtual samples, all right? Think of it if you have a brick and mortar store and you bought inventory for that brick and mortar store. You bought inventory for that brick and mortar store. In our case, as a promoter, my inventory is Jubi Bucks. So I'm going to purchase as many Jubi Bucks, Mike, as my resources allow. I'm not going to go and hurt myself. I'm not going to go and borrow from Uncle Bob and Aunt Susan or what have you. It needs to be discretionary sources. This is not an investment. Notice we don't use any investment terminology. This is not an investment. It's not a mutual fund. It's not a security. None of that. I'm purchasing inventory to give away to customers in hopes that as they get physical product, they like the Jubi Max youth product line. They like the Jubi Max weight loss products, the energy products. And once they have consumed their sample, and that's not a 1 or 2 or 3 day sample, that's a full 30-day supply of the product, that now when they run out, they like the product, they want to come back and get some more, and then they can use Jubi bucks that we've also given them that they haven't already used to further offset the cost. If we gave them 50 Jubi bucks and they come back to make a purchase and it's a $100 purchase, they get to apply the 50 Jubi bucks towards a $100 purchase, saving in that example 50%. That's a huge competitive advantage. Okay? Give me a moment. All right. Question, are the products shippable internationally? Yes, they are. I will tell you that depending on where that's going, some of the shipping and handling costs may be a little cost prohibitive. Now, you got to remember JubiRev, JubiMax is just getting out of the gate. We're still in what we call our soft launch stage. And while we're growing rapidly, it's going to take some time before the company sets up other distribution outlets in other countries. One is got to see where that volume is coming from. Let's say, for instance, that in time that there's a lot of business coming from Israel. Well, in time, then there might be a distribution network established there in Israel so that shipping becomes more manageable there. In the meantime, are there products and services that people are going to be able to use internationally that do not require any type of shipping, that allow we promoters to continue to promote and still give away Jubi bucks for those products and services so that we can also earn Jubi points? The answer to that is a resounding yes. Those items that we have right now, or that we'll be launching, I should say, very soon, will be Jubi Vacations. That does not require any shipping. That's a digital type service, as well as Jubi Trainer. Both of these are launching very, very soon. Now, what you can do is you can go on and give Jubi bucks away right now. So you can give the Jubi bucks away right now, generating the Jubi points, and then once the Jubi Vacations is ready to go, I don't know what the time frame is. It's just a matter of days. Obviously, the programming team has been focused on the daily leadership bonus, making sure that was ready to go. A couple other things they're cleaning up, but I know Jubi Vacations, Jubi rebates, Jubi Trainer, those things at the top of the priority list. Now the daily leadership bonus has started. So you can go on and start giving away Jubi bucks to your customers and letting them know that they're going to be able to use Jubi bucks for Jubi Vacations, Jubi Trainer, as well. Okay. I do know there are a couple of other major electronic delivery type products and services that the company will have. I don't know the time frames, and I'm not at liberty to discuss what those options are, but believe me, we'll be able to impact anyone that wants to build a business with JubiRev, JubiMax that's in countries that we can support to do business. Obviously, for instance, if you're from North Korea, we love you, but you know that's going to be, we're not going to be able to do business with you right now. Or if you're in certain other countries, but for the most part, most countries we're going to be able to do business with both products and services, even if people opt not to use the shippable types of products and services. Okay? Give me a moment. Jubi Suite Commissions. Jubi Suite Commissions. Tyron, my buddy, Coach Van, I know you were asking me about that. Jubi Suite Commissions, you should start seeing those Jubi Suite Commissions a little bit later on this week. That one I got to do a little bit more training on the way that needs to be done. Tyron, what I would have you to do right now, go into your back office. Go into your back office under your home page, and then under your corporate overview, and make sure make sure that you've pulled down the compensation PDF. It tells you when the Jubi Suite commissions are done. The Jubi Suite commissions start once you started doing the placing. Once you start doing the placing, there was a little quirk there, and I think that quirk has either been fixed or will be fixed. So you should start to see your Jubi Suite commissions, your 0.5% starting to impact your bottom line in a couple of days if it doesn't do it before then, okay? Give me a moment. That person asked a question, but they're no longer here, okay? Someone is asking, will you be able to see the email addresses and the phone numbers of all of your customers? Robert, the answer to that is, from our system, the answer to that is going to be no. However, obviously, if you're dealing with someone that you already know, then there's a good chance you already have their email and you already have their phone number. And let me tell you why. Let's say if you just sent out a giveaway page, or you were just doing doing your daily advertising. Someone clicks, they don't know you, and they opt in. The reason that email address and phone number is not going to be viewable in your back office is because the company wants to keep a clear distinction between a customer and a promoter. And when you have people that are registering to be a customer, now obviously if you have a friend or someone you know, they may know that you're in the business, they may be becoming a customer of yours, and they maybe even have the intent of eventually becoming a promoter with you. But the company wants to make sure that we don't have a bad name because we have some overzealous promoters that see customers in the back office, email address and phone number, and then they try to communicate with those customers from a promoter perspective. That person may not have any interest in any income opportunity. They just want to try the products. And if they try the products, they like them, maybe they want to come and consume more and more and more. But if some overzealous promoter is trying to say, hey, come to this webinar and come and join and what have you, then not only could they get frustrated with that promoter, but who else are they going to get frustrated with? JubiRev and the customer portal, Jubi Max. So you won't see all of that customer information in terms of email addresses and phone numbers. Obviously, if you're dealing with a customer of more of a warm market that you know, you'll probably have that, and you'll be able to communicate with them from that standpoint. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we are at the bottom of the hour. We weren't able to get to all of the questions, but we've been here now for about 90 minutes, so we feel like we've given you good information on the income opportunity, a little bit of back office training, and now some quality answers to some of the questions we were able to get to. We're going to be back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, same type format, about 45 minutes for the income opportunity, a little training in the back office, optional Q&A, and we'll be back here again Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you are considering loading funds to make more purchases of Jubi Bucks to take advantage of the first wave bonus. If you have Jubi Bucks already, that you're starting to give those away to generate Jubi points. Again, check with your leaders out there in the field. I can't say anything on a corporate webinar, but check with your leaders in the field to see if they have some type of co-ops or customer acquisition services if you are looking for a way to help generate even more and more customers beyond just your warm market. And again, just check with your leaders. They should be able to send you to some sources so that customers should not be an issue for you. With that being said, we love it. Oh, one last thing. Daily ad placement. Right now, you're able to earn in the daily leadership bonus, and they're not checking the daily ads just yet. They will start checking them as of Friday. So real quickly, if you go to marketing, daily ad placement, marketing, daily ad placement, you'll be able to see the ads that are available there. I would have you just to go to the marketing site and spend a little time here between daily ad placement and advertising venues. Go on and start placing ads just so you can get used to doing that, so that come Friday when we need to have ads placed that you have them. There will probably be a video that will be up before Friday that shows you how to place ads in the event that you've never done ad placement or anything like that before, to kind of guide you through. With that being said, we love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. Remember, Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, not just a company, it's a movement. Love you guys. Good night, everyone.
So that's it for now. If you have any questions, please get back to the person that shared this video with you, or you can send a support ticket from your JubiRev back office. Thank you. We look forward to hearing of your success.